We all know Adam Jonas as a Tesla bull, as somebody who usually gets it right on Tesla. So what in the heck happened this morning? This is Randy Kirk. If you find this content amusing even, or entertaining, or just fun, or maybe it's actually useful, hit the like button, hit the record button, the notification button, and especially we're doing this series on all of the competition. So far, the number of views have been rather low. I've been kind of surprised. We've done one on Volkswagen. We've done one on Toyota. We're going to do a series of a total of about 20 of them, all of them starring Lars Strandritter over at Best in Tesla, who's really quite the expert on these different car companies. So I think this is valuable content. Maybe I've got it wrong, but pick it up and take a look and get involved in that series. And put on notify if you want to be notified. These will come out about once a day. All right. So, Adam Jonas, what in the world happened today? Adam Jonas says that the Tesla Cybertruck is nothing but a sideshow. The total sales will maybe be 50,000 pieces a year. This is not something that is going to be anything other than a lifestyle truck, that people that use it in business situations or for farming or for construction or things like that, they're just not going to buy it. I don't know whether he's done any research to confirm this. Has he just been talking to folks? Did he have bad dreams last night? I just don't know what he could possibly be thinking about. Let's start with the beginning of the reality here. Tesla has between 1 and 1.5, maybe even more than 1.5 million reservations. Yes, these are only $100 reservations, and you can expect some of those to fall off. So I did a little poll this morning. It's still running on Twitter. You can participate. But so far in the poll, with, again, a small quantity reporting, I think only 40 so far, 85% say they still plan to take advantage of the reservation. And 15% said, no, they probably wouldn't. Some I put in a couple of other positions, like, well, would you only keep your reservation if it was under 60,000? And there was a certain percentage of 15 or something percent that said yes to that. And another one that said if it was only under 50,000, and another percentage said that. Well, eventually, I think this car will be under $50,000. I don't think it'll be available for under $80,000 for the first 12 months, but at some point, it's going to be a regular price point. Let's say you'll be able to get it for somewhere in the 40 to 55,000 range, depending on what you want on it. How many motors do you want? How much capability do you want in terms of electric battery? How many miles do you want to be able to get out of the car? All right. So now let's take a look at the work use case. Now, again, I've been a manufacturer, I've been a distributor, I've dealt with a tremendous number of people in the trades, both with regard to, redecorating a house or redecorating an office, or building a building out and a factory, or just having these people working in general to provide me with services over the years. That doesn't make me an expert by any stretch of the imagination. And yes, I've been in Southern California for over 50 years, so I don't have a broad knowledge of what somebody might do in Iowa. But I'm just going to do this in a practical basis. I did this in 10 minutes. I'm sure you can do your own. I'd love to hear your comments. What did I leave out in terms of this analysis? What did I get wrong in terms of this analysis? How would you change my analysis? I think it's right, but let's take a look. So why would somebody want to buy a Cybertruck as a work truck? Well, number one, cost of purchase. So my guess is, even on just straight up, the Tesla truck within 1 year start of production, let's say with a year from July, by a year from July, you will be able to get a sticker price that, on a Tesla Cybertruck that will be the equivalent of a similar vehicle with the similar capabilities in the ICE world. And that it will be also similar or better priced than any other e-truck, any other pickup truck in the e-world, which right now we only have a couple to choose from, both of which would not be competitive. So it might be that they become more competitive once the Cybertruck is out, but we'll see. So number one, I'm going to say cost of purchase. about the same, maybe a little better, maybe a little savings just on the sticker price. Okay, number two, cost of fuel. Well, the cost of fuel compared to an ICE pickup truck will be dramatically less. So there'll be huge savings right away every single week, because typically these trucks are driven more, let's say, than an average car. And as they're driven more, then you're at the gas station more, you're filling up more, you're paying more for gasoline than you ever would for the cost of the electricity. Usually, generally speaking, you can count on it being about 25% of the cost of gas. In the case of trucks, it might be even a little better than that, because trucks tend to get lower miles per gallon. All right, number three, cost of ownership. Well, maintenance is going to be way less over time. You're never going to spend any money on brakes. You're never going to spend any money on smog devices, the semi-annual in California smog device check. You're not going to be buying, getting new spark plugs ever. There's a whole list of things you're never going to do to this truck. So you're going to spend less time on maintenance and less money and time maintaining the vehicle. Repairs, this thing is going to be indestructible. So yes, if you're driving a pickup truck, you're more inclined possibly on construction sites and other situations to ding it or mess it up, and you might want to get that fixed. The stainless steel truck is going to be virtually indestructible. This is not going to be an issue. You're going to buff out the problem. Number three in this category of cost of ownership, guessing that insurance will be less, especially if it's Tesla insurance. So there's probably, this is not definite, but there's probably an insurance savings as Tesla continues to roll out across the whole United States over the course of the next year. And then finally, depreciation. Now, this is not a certainty, but again, based on everything Tesla, we can probably assume that the Tesla depreciation is going to be less than it would be for an ICE vehicle. And this will be especially true as the world makes the complete switch to electrified cars. All right, number four, torque. Well, is there any doubt in anybody's mind that the torque on this is going to be better than an ICE car? We could argue whether it might be better or worse than a Rivian or a Lightning, but we don't know these things yet. But it's certainly going to be better in terms of torque than any ICE pickup truck. So to the extent that torque is an issue in terms of the utilization of the truck, this is a no-brainer. Generally fun performance. Okay, we know it's quick, it's fast. So if you care about that stuff, if you want to be the number one guy off the line, if you want to be able to impress your friends with how quick it is and how fast it is, then this is not, again, it's a no-brainer. We know this is a fact. Number six, so we talked about indestructible. So that's going to be true for in general, not just on the work site, but however you're using it, it's going to be, so like for off-roading and things of this nature, it's going to be fantastic in terms of not requiring repairs of scratches or bumps or bruises. Number eight, usefulness. We already know that people are copying Tesla even before it comes out. Tesla has already talked about all kinds of power outlets, all kinds of cabinetry and stuff that was not being done on trucks, and now Rivian has copied some of those, and the Lightning has copied some. Even some of the other models are copying these. But we're also having usefulness in terms of the size of the bed and the cover that's going to be coming down to cover up the product. There's the usefulness in terms of the full self-driving. There's usefulness in terms of all the other auto capabilities, even if you don't get full self-driving. I mean, it just goes on and on and on with regard to usefulness. That we haven't even, doesn't even get to the software in terms of the screen inside the truck that would provide all kinds of entertainment during lunch, because you're out on a site, and where else are you going to get entertained? Now you can pull up the screen and you can play a game or watch a video, etc. Tons and tons and tons of usefulness possibilities. And then number nine, safety. Yes, I think even these hardy truck drivers that are using it for construction or for farming or for any other kind of purpose, I think even these guys are very concerned about safety. And there's no doubt that this will be, like all Tesla vehicles, at the top of its class in terms of safety. Well, that's my list of 9 things. Do you have other things to add to my list? I'd love to hear it in the comments, but I'm not done. because I want to talk about why not buy a Cybertruck. Okay, we got to be fair here. Why would a person not be interested in a Cybertruck? What would be the reason if you have all those benefits, all those advantages over an ICE vehicle and potential advantages over other electric vehicles? Why then would you say, no, I don't want to buy that thing? Well, number one, because it looks weird. So is that going to be the main reason it holds up people in Iowa and Tennessee from buying this amazing truck? Well, maybe for a week or for a year, or maybe not. Sometimes you're going to weigh, is that really an issue in terms of what I want it for work? I want it for work. I want it, I have a budget. If I can save money, is the fact that it looks weird going to keep me from saving money? I just don't think so. Anyway, but sir, there's going to be a few people like that. Number two, you might have a historic preference for the Ram, or you might have a historic preference for a 150, or you're a Ford man, you're a GM man, whatever it might be. And so you have this historic preference. You've always bought that brand. That might slow you down from switching over to this weird Tesla vehicle. But that's an emotional thing. It has nothing to do with the practicality of making a living with your truck. So I'm sorry, I don't think this is going to last long in terms of these historical emotional preferences. Number three, no motor noise. Well, there you go again. I mean, yes, I kind of like the motor noise of a big, Ram truck, and makes all, it's great. It's a manly thing. Little boys going brum brum. They're not going to do that anymore. I don't think this is going to slow down many purchases of people that are in business. And then finally, range anxiety. Now, this might be one that would really be an issue if the vehicle is going to be driven way out into the hinterland, someplace where there's not going to be any place to hook up and charge if you haven't charged before you left. I have taken a trip in our Model Y out into Death Valley, and I had some range anxiety. That was 2 years ago, right after we bought the car. There are more pumps and more possibilities and more ways to get hooked up now than there was then. And of course, you can always plug into a 110 outlet using a converter. And in fact, we still use just the regular plug in our home because we don't travel long distances. So there's lots of ways to overcome this range anxiety issue. I don't think it's going to be an issue for 90+% of the folks that are going to be using it for work purposes. So there you go. Add your own thoughts. Please comment below. I love your comments. I try to answer all of them. Join Patreon. We need some more folks on Patreon right now, and it helps to support the channel, helps make it reasonable for me to continue to put the time and energy into doing this channel, is to have you folks helping me out on Patreon. So with all that said, hey, today, again, it's been great talking to you.